Thabarwa. We are back from the alms round, and yesterday we had a meeting and there was a discussion. One of the Thabarwa members was giving his feedback about his appreciation of Thabarwa. Why every time he leaves, he ends up coming back to Thabarwa? Because he feels freedom here. Anyone can do whatever we want. Sayadaw teaches us what is right to do and what we should do, but he doesn't force anyone. So we all really feel the freedom of knowing and not knowing. And this is very strong, actually, because in other meditation centers you would have some rules and restrictions which you should follow. Otherwise, if you break some rule, you are out. While here, you are accepted. We know that mistakes happen. And that we all love freedom. And now, oh yeah, actually I should show you what is happening in the back. This is also, in a way, this is also freedom, that people are free to travel in the back of the car. We still do have some seats, but they are free. Like this man is 55 plus. This one is just under 40, but they find it suitable to share their conversation on the trip back from alms round, having their freedom, enjoying being in Thabarwa where nobody. Yes, we do. All our minds, they tend to judge, but this judgment is not the same judgment as the punishment judgment. Here people judge just as the result of our mind with ignorance and delusion, but not the judgment that goes really against someone and that stops someone from being able. Look at this badge I made for myself as I travel a lot in the airports, elsewhere. People might, this is very new, I will see if it works really. So yeah, as we all here are not enlightened, except probably for our teacher. And he does teach us what is right, but we can't follow it right away. Nothing changes just in one single moment. So we have to face the reality that we can continue making mistakes, and when we see someone making a mistake, we may mistakenly judge that person. We may give remarks, what is wrong, but in this we don't notice our own mistake. There is a monk here who often loves to do that. We have every day like daily updates on Facebook group, who what does wrongly and what kind of rules we miss to follow. Well, nobody pays attention anymore to those lines, because we just understand that saying is one thing and doing is another. So those were just a few words I wanted to share about Thabarwa, and I continue to introduce you to the way of our life. Last time I showed how we were finishing our morning meditation session and going for alms round, and now I'm showing how we are coming back. So here are tables for lunch. Now there were yogis staying inside and preparing. We will just put things into plates, serve monks, then us nuns will be served. Let's go get into the kitchen. Oh, I just need to put my bowl in here to take it next time. These are the yogis. They are making some food for us, vegetarian food. Okay. Hi. Thank you for cooking for us. Yes, preparations from all different sides. Here are trays for 2 monks. We have Sayadaw, our teacher, and we have one learning monk from Vietnam. We are now at a meditation center in America, in California, in a Vietnamese district. This is the meditation hall that we use for teachings. Here is Sayadaw sitting after alms round, waiting for the lunch to be served. Another nun helping him to see the donations taken out from his bowl, arranging that money. Here is a place where monks' food will be served. Yeah. Okay, I wanted actually to talk to some of our Westerner yogis that now we are forming a new meditation group, meanwhile virtually, because we don't really have a stable place here in America where we can all reside and start new Thabarwa activities. But we do create already a team. This one was one of those. That guy is Vietnamese, but also American because he's been here for ages. He joined pretty well. This lady over here, she's an old Thabarwa member. She used to be a nun herself. Now she's not, meanwhile, but this is her aspiration for the future. We have another 3 guys. And with that, we already form a group because previously and normally there are many Myanmar people who make the Thabarwa function and live, and with whom Sayadaw started all the activities. And in the last 5 years, very actively, Vietnamese formed their group. And in Malaysia now also there is kind of Chinese movement towards Sayadaw. Those who also try to learn more with Sayadaw appreciate his teaching. And with Westerners it is not so easy. So I myself, I come from Switzerland. Originally I come from Belarus. And I happened to be here in America joining Thabarwa when there were not many other foreigners. And I'm considered to be as local, although maybe for Myanmar and for Vietnamese people, the one who comes from Switzerland feels like the same as Americans. But I feel myself also a foreigner here. So although I speak English and Sayadaw encourages me to share Dhamma more to Westerners, and I can do that, but I feel pretty helpless when it comes to some institutions where we need to go and register something or get some permits for meditation retreats, for establishing a new center, for the land donated to us. There I feel pretty helpless because I know nothing of that. So I stick really to practicing Dhamma by myself and trying to share it to the others. And exactly on this trip, it is not a trip yet, we still are in California where we do have our provisionary Thabarwa center at the temporary place before we really can relocate somewhere. And so it is in California, and now we are just invited to a place for a 10 days meditation retreat. So while being here, I already see how this new Thabarwa team of Westerners is being formed, because we do make a team. We do feel that we can stick together, we can share, we can discuss, we can support, we can probably, some can argue. They do come to me and ask for some advice and also appreciate my Dhamma sharing, which really helps me to do what Sayadaw encourages me to do, to lead a Westerners group. Because as I said, I myself come from Switzerland, so it is not so obvious for me to lead a group of Westerners who are all Americans and do it in America. But eventually they themselves are helping me in this, because they do they do come for this information, for advice, and they do take me as kind of a leader, which I try to abandon those leadership skills, because this takes a lot of the mind. And what we learn in Dhamma and meditation, we learn to get free on our mind, to liberate ourselves from reacting, from getting involved, and doing some leadership work in that is not actually obvious to go along with the practice. But the more we practice, the more objects we take into our practice, the more we accept everyday life activity as the opportunity to practice. So when we are ready, we can really extend our practice to all life situations, including challenging situations, because often we might practice in daily habitual activities, but not in the challenging situations, in problematic situations. So when we practice seriously and when we want it really towards liberation, then it is important to not exclude any happening and take every happening to the benefit of realizing that whatever is happening is just the result of karma, and our idea is not to create new karma now. So we take everything as nothing, not someone, not something, but just ever-changing, selfless, impermanent nature. And we see the results. I've been doing like this by myself, and it becomes more and more possible, and I share and I recommend to other Thabarwa members, and we also have results from some others. It is really beneficial. So it was not meant to be a long sharing. I'm supposed to go and help now serve in the kitchen. I will go back to that. And yeah, nothing else as an end. Just an end instead of the end.